So we were making the point that when we are talking about that, yes, self-realized man has no obligation because he's already performing Krishna consciousness. That is a super self. Therefore, he doesn't have to worry about something. The Krishna consciousness includes everything. Person is Krishna conscious, naturally responsible, naturally gentle, naturally responsible. Therefore, if one is serving Krishna nicely, then one can relate and serve everyone else also properly. Whereas if one is not serving Krishna nicely, he will not be able to relate and serve anyone. He will have enough disturbance. So therefore, the test of depth of Krishna consciousness is that Krishna consciousness is universally laudable. Everyone will appreciate genuine. That is genuine. There is no one who will actually point out to you what they do, why they did not, and what it is. Everyone will appreciate genuine. That is it. That's it. Next, 19. Karyam karma samachara asakto hi asaran karma param apnoti purushaha. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activity, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the Supreme. The Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotees and liberation for the impersonal. A person therefore acting for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness under proper guidance and without attachment to the result of the work is certainly making progress towards the supreme goal of life. Arjuna is told that he should fight in the battle of Kurukshetra for the interest of Krishna because Krishna wanted him to fight. To be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment. But to act on behalf of the Supreme is to act without attachment for the result. That is perfect action of the highest degree, recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for purification of impious activities that were performed in the field of self-gratification. But action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reactions of good or evil words. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the result, but acts on behalf of Krishna alone. He engages in all kinds of activities, but is completely non-attached. So the Lord is explaining very beautifully. So the Lord is explaining here that basically the Lord is actually opening up, and because of meditation on the result, they are acting. That's the in general scenario. But the Lord is explaining, see, that is action in entanglement or action for entanglement. The Lord is explaining there is another kind of action, that is action for emancipation. And that action is what? The Lord is explaining that either you can act thinking of the result, then that is entanglement. And the Lord is explaining that, or you can act thinking of me, that is liberation. That is beyond, that is transcendent. So Krishna is explaining that you see, action can be done in these two ways. You can think of me and act, and you can think of results. If you think of results, then that is entanglement. If you think of me, then that is liberation. So Krishna is explaining that if you act in this way, you can sure attain this situation. So now the previous two verses, one way the Lord can explain that, okay, one way of seeing it is as, okay, there are these self-realized souls and they are satisfied in transcendence, therefore they don't have any obligation. The other way to see it is as, the Lord is explaining that, okay, those who are self-realized, they are so much filled with Krishna conscious substance. They're so much absorbed in Krishna consciousness that that no particular type of material activity can confine. Why? Because their activity is completely guided by the Lord, completely guided by the spiritual energy. So the other way of seeing it is that the Lord is explaining the effect first, and the process which creates that effect. The Lord is explaining here. Those who self-realize, they are not caught, they are not obliged. They are not obliged to one fixed kind of material activity. They are not obliged to do anything actually. Whatever they are able to do in service of Krishna, that is, and they are guided by the Lord. Such people, how did they come to that stage? They came to that stage by acting without fruits as a matter of duty. That's how they acted. So this is the way to attain that. Either we can act thinking of Krishna, or we can act thinking of self. That's what the Lord explains. So therefore, in that sense, the Lord is explaining that okay, that means the Lord is establishing a higher principle. Now, one says that okay, because action is geared towards sense gratification, therefore I shun action. That's a higher platform. Should be considered as a higher platform. If action is leading to entanglement, so I shun action, therefore I should be in a higher position. The Lord is telling her a higher position, and that is one thing is that okay, you stopped doing action for yourself. That you are calling as inaction. But you stop doing action for yourself, that's one part of it. Now I'll teach you how to act for Krishna. That includes stopping doing action for yourself, but that is not inaction. Now you are acting for me. That's the other half of the story. That is even higher class. That's what the Lord is explaining. That means that ultimately action, inaction, nothing matters to a devotee. What matters to him is pleasure of Krishna. So when it is need to act, he will act. When it is need not to act, then not to act. He's happy chanting. He's happy with Buddha. That's the idea. Which the Lord is explaining. Very good. So therefore the Lord is telling Arjuna, oh Arjuna, if you say you are so transcendental, Arjuna is telling, no, I am transcendental, I am not materially conscious. I am not material desire. The Lord is telling, oh, you are so transcendental that you are not worried about any material factor. And the Lord is telling, if you are so transcendental, then you won't mind acting also. Because you are so transcendental. But what is the point saying, I am so transcendental, therefore I will not act? The Lord is telling, then show little more transcendental as well. If you are so transcendental, you can as well act also. That sounds very beautifully the Lord is trying to. That means basically the Lord is actually adding another dimension. The Lord is explaining that this activity, what is an activity? The state of absence of activity for the self is called as an activity. So not doing activity for the self gratification is called as an activity. So that is not the stable platform. That's just that may be a Bhagavad platform. So the stability will come when there is activity on the positive dimension. That's why the Lord is explaining something. Why the Lord is purifying something so beautifully. And the Lord is explaining that better act to serve. Better act to serve. So that's why Prabhupada speaks so beautifully here. To be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal type. Okay, I want a good man, non-violent, this and that. But to act on behalf of the Supreme is to act without attachment. And then Prabhupada says that for Krishna conscious devotee, he engages in all kinds of activities. He's not bothered about. But he is not. He's engaging in those activities, engaging in those activities to serve me. Just to serve. Karma naivahitam siddhim asita jana sadaya sangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people, you should perform your work. Kings like Janaka were all self-realized. Consequently, they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duties in the village. Because it's something. Nonetheless, they performed all the prescribed activities just to set examples for the people in general. Janaka was the father of Sita and father-in-law of Lord Sri Ram. Being a great devotee of the Lord, he was transcendentally secure. But because he was the king of Mithila, subdivision of Bihar province in India, he had to teach his subjects how to perform prescribed duties. Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal friend, had no need to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, but they fought to teach people in general that violence is also necessary in a situation where good arguments fail. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, every effort was made to avoid the war, even by the Supreme Personality of God. But the other party was determined to fight. So, for such a right cause, there is a necessity of fighting. Although one who is situated in Krishna consciousness may not have any interest in the world, he still works to keep the world in consciousness. Experienced person in Krishna consciousness can have concentration of people. And this is think of educating people to perform. So in India, here there are two aspects. One is that person is a competition, and now he is a competition because he is a competition. Therefore, he is now still extending himself, having a competition, still extending to extending himself on a lower platform, and that we can say. So that will be called a certain example. Like Rathayatra, Maharaj Pratap Rudra was grooming. So he has much more higher services. Grooming, then that can be said as certain example. Coming on a platform, which is certain example. That's one idea, that's one aspect of it. So the Lord is explaining this particular logic, but what the Lord is offering to Arjuna, in this case, Arjuna is not accomplished at this point of time. But for Arjuna in general, the argument is shown in like this, but actually what is being said is that actually if you follow this right path, eventually it is an eventually. Sometimes it's okay, you practice devotional service. It sets an example. Sometimes, devotees also we say that okay, if you study, it's an example. Ram is good sadhana, it's an example. The setting example comes when a person is very accomplished, then he is demonstrating. That is setting example. But actually, the point is the pathway to it. That okay, if you study, eventually you become an example. Because we know that the person needs study. If he doesn't study, it will mess up. It's very simple. If studies, he will remain alive, and then eventually he will be an example. Just like taking admission in IIT, eventually one will be IIT. Like that. So the same thing actually. The same thing. So the Lord is explaining that actually if you want to be a right example, you can be right away by following the right and by sticking on to the right. Krishna in that way is always making things easy for the living entity. He says, okay, you don't even. So the point is this one, setting example means what? He says, okay, if you have money, you pay and take the commodity. Somebody say, I don't have money. He says, okay, you take the commodity anyway. And eventually you will be paid. That's what Krishna is offering. So yes, even without qualifications, one can be an example just by desiring to be one. But one has to stick on to the practice of Krishna consciousness. One has to stick on to the practice of devotional service. Then only it is going to work out. So this is so beautiful, actually. That we can say that okay, many times we struggle balancing a material, spiritual, everything and all that. But the point is that if we are just desiring to be an example, eventually we'll be one. Therefore, setting an example in that sense doesn't need an overwhelming success. But what it needs is an ongoing sincerity. That is a beautiful idea the Lord is explaining. Isn't it so beautiful? It doesn't need an accomplishment, overwhelming accomplishment, but it needs ongoing sincerity. Sincerity of heart, sincerity of life. So amazing. P21. Yadyadachirati Shrestha Tasate pataro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokasadanu vartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world. So people in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical duty. A leader cannot teach. Prabhupada explains everybody requires an example. Now the question is that, okay, the right examples are very rare. How to find genuine right examples? Many times even within Krishna consciousness, one has to struggle to really find genuine examples. Or you can say that dilute even in Krishna consciousness. So, many examples. Now, many times people can, so very easily people can say, okay, the examples are not available. So, the right examples are not available. The Prabhupada explains, or here the connotation of the Lord is, and Prabhupada is elaborating on that. The beautiful thing is that the Lord is telling you, you be an example. So, we see that the living entity is very attached to those. Right?